Peace, family. This is your brother, 2020, and you are now tuned in to Vibes, hip hop commentary. Yeah, I like that intro music, don't y'all? Yeah. Courtesy of my brother Mizzle Mix. Go check him out at Mizzle Mix on Instagram. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, we are in the building today, October 21st, 2021. So, let us begin with this. Y'all love hip-hop shows, right? I'm pretty sure y'all do if y'all like the music. Well, at least you should. I don't know about you, but I always check out my artists, especially when they put something up on the what we call the waves, the airwaves. They kind of sacred. Should be some good information going through the airwaves. So, for the last year or so, I've been watching Tang, An American Story. Shout out to RZA and the whole Wu-Tang. You've been doing a hell of a job with the show. Good writing, good commentary. All the actors been on point. I've been really surprised by a lot of them, especially my brother Dave East. He does a hell of a good method man, Shamik, who played Ray, the brother who plays Ghostface. I'm going to get all the names right eventually, These brothers have really impressed me, the whole setup, everything. The brother that's playing RZA, everybody's been doing a hell of a job. What that show does for me is it gives me hope for hip-hop culture. On top of the fact that it's telling the story of these brothers and how they all came together from different parts of the city, Shaolin Island, and went ahead on to put something great together. So I definitely got to give them brothers a healthy shout out. And y'all keep up the good work. Now, another thing that the show does for me is it chronicles hip-hop culture from a personal perspective. So now, all of that garbage that y'all usually hear as far as the rumor mills and stuff go, now you got that actual people telling the story. So therefore, there's no more speculation. If you got some questions, because most miniseries, television shows about true stories about real life situations, sometimes they involve a little bit of what's called dramatization, which means you have to fill in the gaps sometimes. Some of that stuff could be just made up storytelling. The other part could be speculation mixed with some truth because it has to tie everything in. That's where the questions come in at when the fans who watch the show get to want to know about things, like the fact that in the show, Ray and Ghostface had a beef because they was running with two separate crews. But in reality, they didn't really have a beef. That was a part of the show to highlight what was going on in the hood at that time and how things were manifesting themselves. They didn't want to be outright blatant with it, but RZA had to build a narrative, that shows you where hip hop actually came from, and the people involved in it, they weren't always angels, and at the same time, if they were doing something, it usually reflected the circumstances in that environment or in that community. So he did a wonderful job, and he sparked a lot of conversation with the way that he set everything up. The fact that the brother chronicles the history of his group and the brothers in it should let the listeners and the watchers know that this thing we call hip hop really came from us. It came from our experience. It came from our situations, how we looked at the world, so on and so forth. Social issues, the fact that we had to be able to tell our story from our perspective, as well as express how we was feeling about the things that were going on with us in our community. How people on the outside was affecting things that were going on the inside. And this story talks about how the things that was happening on the inside mixed with actual art can tell the story to the outside world who didn't know, who wasn't in Shaolin, or who wasn't in any of the 5 boroughs, or who wasn't in any of the major cities in the United States where hip-hop found its way to the people so they can express themselves. So RZA, you did a hell of a job, man. I got to give you another applause. Some great commentary. Great story. And the new episode is up now for those who might want to go check it out. I suggest you start with season 1 so you can get the whole story. Another show, or another couple of shows that I've been watching, is 50 Cent's Power series. This series is deep. It really is. Shout out to 50, Courtney Kemp, all the writers. They're doing a hell of a job. And the thing I love about 50 Cent is he tells his truth regardless to whom or what. I can respect the brother for that. As black men on the planet, a lot of us get a bad rap because of our attitude and the way we look at the world, and the things that go on in it sometimes. But I think this brother's handled himself with decency. He don't take no mess from you. So if you bring it, you better be ready for it. And he looks at people for who they are and how they are. Being an individual who came from the circumstances that he came from, which is the story of young black male life all over the world, particularly in the hills of North America, 3,000 by 2,000 miles. He brings a certain authenticity to the whole thing. As they say, he keeps it real. Got to give it to him on that. Can't front on him. So shout out to 50. Keep bringing that stuff to the forefront, as well as the new BMF show that's out. Okay? Hell of a job. Shout out to Lil Meech, and everybody that's doing their thing. Got to give y'all a hell of an applause. I know your father's proud of you, bro. And when he touched down, I definitely know he's going to let you know about that. You've been doing a hell of a portrayal, of your father in the show, Lil Meech. Just heard that Southwest T, the son of the elder Southwest T, just came home, celebrating the birthday. Glad that you out there, brother. Make sure you stay out this time. Your family's proud of you. You made it through. Made it out the belly of the beast in one piece. got to give a shout out to you for that. A lot of us go through that, and sometimes we don't come out too good on the other side. So to all of those who have went through it, salute to you. And I hope that you continue on your journey to get your life all the way back together, and get complete and total control of it. So we got book 2, which is Ghost, a continuation of Power and what happened after Ghost was killed. This one stars his son Tariq. Michael Rainey, hell of a job, brother. Gotta give you an applause for that too. 50 got a working mind. I can get that to him. He's able to capture the streets in a way that I see a lot of people can't do. So I think they need to take some notes on how the brother's putting everything together. He got a great team, producers, writers, actors, the whole nine, And now he has book 3 out, Raising Canaan. Now this is telling the story of Canaan, starting at the beginning. He put that together great as well. I mean, the brother's 3 for 3. The brother's 3 for 3. So yeah, shout out to 50 Cent, G Unit Productions. Keep up the good work, man. We need that. We need that. I'm saying? You're doing a hell of a representation of the streets and bringing the truth to the camera for all of us to see. I love it. I love it. Once again, shout out to all of our innovators, television personalities that are on code. Let me get that right. They are on code, and they doing the right thing and giving the people a perspective of us that's respectable. Regardless of what your opinion is about what's going on in the show, that's a part of our reality. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, shout out to RZA, Wu-Tang, 50 Cent, and all the things that y'all doing with these shows as well. One more round of applause for you. All right. Now, this little piece of news that I'm about to drop now, well, you know what? We're going to save that for another show. That's going to be on the 20 spot, okay? So y'all make sure y'all tune in to the 20 Spot podcast, which will air its first actual episode this weekend, all right? Same channel, same host, your brother 2020. So, in other hip-hop news, well, let's say hip-hop commentary news, I know you guys are familiar with the Joe Budden podcast. Looks like Rory and Mal have their own show, and some people are debating on whether or not they are so-called smashing on DJ Academics. Guess he was on the No Jumper podcast speaking on that. You can go check that out on YouTube. That's Adam22. No Jumper. And I didn't watch the whole interview. I'm going to have to check it out, and see if I can get DJ Academics' perspective. I just try not to be biased to anybody. They got their own story, their own reasons for saying and doing what they do. So shout out to everybody involved. I hope they're able to straighten that stuff out. Eventually, they should be able to. So let's see here. Man, the state of hip hop today is in dire need of some rebuilding. I'm just going to leave that right there. Y'all be able to get the gist of that. But I wanted to share a little something with my people today. Now, me being an artist myself, got some pretty decent tracks, And I just wanted to showcase one or two of them for you here today. I will be dropping some new music, so I am going to have some exclusives on deck and some unreleased material that I might share, that I'm going to share with the people. So this song is called Facts, okay? And it's self-explanatory in itself. This is one of the singles that I dropped about a year or two ago. It's streaming on all platforms right now. Y'all can go check it out. This is Facts by your brother, 2020.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk on the streets. People been having a lot to say. This is my response to that. Had to drop a few facts.
What up, E-Rock?
Put it on my back.
Hey, he got busy on this.
A-Town, Midwest, 20.
Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished. I'm not close to being done. You see, my journey's just beginning. So you haters keep on hating. Debaters keep debating while I keep on my controlling, prepping for annihilation. I know the road I'm facing. My people out here scraping, trying to make $1 out of change from gas stations. You busted motherfuckers talking down on the real one. House niggas run they mouth in front. I'm in the field, son. Always ran with the have-nots. From a grasshopper, never shop with dapper Dan, so call a brother dapper proper. On the streets, not in them too much was on the music.
That's right.
Women working the homies is how I usually do it. Situations dropped in my life, I got through it. Stood on my own too, got to work and kept it moving. Flow still fluid like the blood in my veins. Drop rocks on the track, illustrating the rain, and that's fact. Took that first letter, put it on my back. Promise to rip it to the end, and that's facts. Middle finger to them haters with them bum ass raps. Stay true to yourself and your soil, and that's facts. MIDWST, run it back. We got next up in this rap game. That ain't no cap. If you ain't know it by now, I got bars like a cell block. This is hip hop, homie, and it will never stop. Indiana is my home. A-Town is the stomping ground. You can find me in the West building with my lost and founds. Been described as a conscious rapper around my way. That should tell you that words are a terrible thing to waste. A woke mind has a lot to say. I'm shooting these verses like movies, put it on display. 77-inch screen so you can peep the scene. High definition from where you sitting. Welcome to God vision, spitting it with precision. Something I never lack. From the speed of thought, watch the mental currency stack. Rappers play the back, that's their usual place. And if you got something to say, you can say it to my face, and that's fact. Took that first letter, put it on my back. Promise to rep it to the end, and that's facts. Middle finger to them haters with them bum ass raps. Stay true to yourself and your soil, and that's facts.
Yeah. End of discussion. 20.
Yes. And that was Facts, people. Yeah, I got a couple of things that, I'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. Not this show in particular, but a little bit later on in episodes. So we'll be able to get to that. I wanted to speak today. One more thing before I close everything out. Let's talk about the versus battle. Big Daddy Kane versus KRS-One. Now, to me, that was a win for hip-hop. along with the Locks versus Dipset, it brought back the elements of hip hop. You see what I'm saying? For those who are new to the art form, for those who are new to the rhyming, my suggestion to you would be to go and do some history. Because your favorite rapper had an influence. Go back in their interviews, find out who their influences are, go listen to them. Get a well-rounded perspective on what hip-hop actually is, the culture itself, you know. And Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One did an excellent job putting that together. They brought the b-boying, they brought the breaking, they all brought the lyrics, they all brought the MC to the table. They had the DJ as well. The only thing they didn't have is the graffiti. They actually had the knowledge itself. You know, it's 6 elements of hip-hop. Breaking, DJ, MC, graffiti, knowledge. Knowledge is the 5th element of hip-hop. 5th or 6th, let's say. That's hip-hop culture. The whole thing embodied. Now, you don't see a lot of breakdancing. You don't see a lot of pop locking. You don't see a lot of that street stuff that we seen really, really deep in the 80s. Because towards the end of the 80s, they went ahead on and took the MC and put him in the forefront, and then took the DJ and put the DJ behind the MC. Then after that, the DJ came out of the equation, and the DJs became producers. So now you got the MC and the producer. All right. Depending on the individual or the artist, they decide whether they want to bring elements of the culture into it. So to all those new people who are new to hip hop, you need to go check out the versus battle. Big Daddy Kane versus KRS-One. I don't care if you never heard of them. Doesn't matter. If you like hip hop, you should be able to respect lyrical capability and content that these brothers bring. All right. So that was an excellent versus. Shout out to Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, Swizz Beats, the whole versus family. Y'all keep doing y'all thing. We appreciate you. Appreciate everything you're doing for the culture. Now, that was born out of this pandemic. You know, since we couldn't go to any concerts or shows or enjoy our favorite artists at our favorite venues, you know, he brought our favorite artists to the venue, to the camera for us to see. So shout out to that. Shout out to that. All right, family. This was a short one today. You know, I have a few other things I want to talk about. We're going to have some episodes. We're going to break some things down. We're going to get into some things, you know, so this is your brother, 2020, and thank you lots for tuning in to Vibes Hip Hop Commentary. And we are going to close it out with the intro. My brother Mizzle Mix. Check out my brother Mizzle Mix. At Mizzle Mix on Instagram. And at Mizzle Mix on Facebook as well. Go follow at Agent 2020 on all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I got banned from TikTok. I guess I was talking too much. Dropped a little bit of too much heavy stuff on them. They took me off the platform. They did my brother Rizza Islam like that too. They took him off Instagram. 6 pages. 6 pages. All got took off. Crazy. But this your brother. Vibes Hip Hop Commentary. Come check us out. Comment, share, and follow the podcast. I would definitely appreciate it. And we will be back here soon. Thank you for tuning in. You have a blacktastic and wonderful day, or let's say you have a humane-tastic and wonderful day for the human family. It's 2020. I'm out. Peace.